Bum, 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 bum. Ting, ting. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wizard's Forge. I'm starting up this YouTube channel to review 5th edition and maybe other TTRPG content. I'm interested in Pathfinder and a couple other games that I've been seeing, so who knows? But for now, I'm just showing some 5th edition content, both first party and third party. Third party and first party. Third party and first party. So today we're reviewing a book that's going to be the first in the series I'm going to do on the channel of making combats more dynamic. And today's book is none other than Homefield Advantage, a compendium of Lair actions. We're going to take a look at the introduction and at least 3 monsters. Maybe 4, I don't know. I'm not going to go past like 5 though. 5's the max I'm going to do. There's lots of them in the book, as you see here on the side a little bit. There's just a couple that are available to you. I know one of them that I want to look at is going to be the Banshee, because I ran a Banshee fight a couple of months ago, and I would love to see how that could have became more dynamic. It was already pretty good in my opinion, but hey, whatever. If you're one of my players that played in the game, let me know how you felt about the Banshee fight down below. I'm interested in hearing it from you guys. I mean, you can also private message me if you're interested. Up to y'all. I don't care if you want to make it public, make it private, whatever. Anyway, I love the art on the cover. That's amazingly cool. I'm a huge fan of art in all of the books that I do, or not do, but read for TTRPGs. The good old DM's Guild logo there. All right, so let's go to the introduction. Here you see some of them as I'm sliding past. All right. Lair actions introduced in D&D 5th edition give epic shape. Wow. Ugh. Can I read today? Focus. Camera. All right, sorry about the blurriness. I don't have the best camera. I'm trying here. Lair actions introduced in D&D 5th edition give shape to epic battles by introducing new gameplay mechanics, which the players will associate with the boss monster for years to come. Ooh, that sounds fun. However, despite the fact that player characters faced off against boss monsters at every tier of play, only a small portions of characters, most of which are in the 3rd or 4th tiers of play, were given Lair actions. This book. This book provides a collection of over 250 unique sets of Lair actions. Keyword there is sets. I highly doubt there's only 250. My guess is they probably specialized some monsters and gave them like a couple. Yeah, see, covering more than 320 of the most iconic D&D creatures, whatever you want to call them, so that you could create thrilling boss battles for every tier of play and breathe new life into some of your old favorites. How to use this book. If a creature has Lair actions, it means the creature's lair has either been suffused with the creature's magic or prepared in various ways to help the creature ward off invaders. Creatures featured. The stat blocks and description for the creatures mentioned in this book are not included because, you know, that's not SRD material and therefore can't be used in third-party content. Although this is from the DM's Guild, so I think they have permission to do it. They probably just didn't want to make the book like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages long. I mean, more than it already is. As you see up here, it's 242. Oh, wait, let me slide myself out of the way here really quickly. Okay, let me just... Anyway, it's 242. I apologize, but I'm cutting it off with my face. So, there's that. But it does tell you what page and whatnot you can find it from on that book. So that's nice. Creatures not featured. It was not given a Lair action by this book. It means one of 3 things. Already has a satisfactory set of Lair actions, like most dragons and demon lords. Yeah, their Lair actions are amazing. The creature is unlikely to set up lairs, more likely to go out into the world and attack instead, the retriever. Or the creature was deemed too unlikely to be used as a boss. Example, the goblin was not given a Lair action, but the goblin boss was. I like that. All right, using lair actions. On initiative count 20, losing all initiative types. So a player rolls that 20 plus their modifier or whatever, ties with the lair, they go first, not the lair. Important note there. It can't, the creature uses one of its lair options. Lair action options, whatever. It can't do so while incapacitated or otherwise unable to take actions. If it is surprised, it cannot use one until after its first turn in combat. Another important note there. Nice. I'm pretty sure that's the same that it lists when telling you how lair actions works. I think it's in the DMG or Monster Manual, whatever. Some creatures cannot use the same effect twice in a row. Others can. Refer to the individual set of lair actions to know exactly how each set of lair action functions. Some lair actions have effects which last a long time. When a creature has such an effect, consider whether or not the effect would already be active when designing your combat encounters before initiatives even rolled. I like that. That means if an effect is like a longer effect, you could have that active in the lair when the players encounter it before initiative is even rolled, making the first turn even brutaler. More brutal? Brutaler? Grammar's not my strong suit. Challenge rating. When fighting a creature with lair actions within its lair, the creature's challenge rating is increased by 1. If the creature was too strong or too weak in its published version for its given challenge rating, the lair action presented in this book try to compensate by giving slightly weaker or stronger lair actions. Nice. Archetypes. Often 2 or more creatures embody the same monster archetype at different tiers of play, such as adult and ancient dragons of the same kind, or the mage and archmage stat blocks from the monster manual. Creatures which could be grouped in this way are given a single set of lair action which every member of the group uses. Okay. These lair actions are balanced for the strongest creature of the group, and if you're using another member group, you will need to adapt a few aspects of the lair actions, or lair effects. The DC of saving throws caused by the effect, the damage caused by the effect, the amount and type of minion summoned by the effect. The group lair table of the following page is based on the monster statistic by challenge rating table from the Dungeon Master Guide on page 274. It should help you balance these effects appropriately. Look up the challenge rating of the creature outside of its lair in the first column, and the rest of the row will give you a good idea how powerful this creature lair action should be. So, for example, if something has like a variant that's CR13 and CR20 at higher tiers of play, you would take for the CR13 and change everything to the 13 instead of being that CR20. Okay, I like that. I like that. I like that. That's nice. Very, very nice, actually. All right. Note that these are baseline values. For example, an effect which paralyzes every creature in the lair, should have a lower save DC than an effect which frightens one creature in the lair. Yeah, because it's more potent. I get it. And an effect which deals damage to a single creature should deal more damage than an effect which damages every creature in the lair. Yeah, that's fair. I would say that's common sense. Horde lairs. Ooh, what's this? A few of the creatures featured in this book are not boss monsters, but hordes of smaller monsters. Or creatures, whatever. Okay. Such as the gnolls or zombies. Ooh, I see gnolls. That's one of my favorite things. Oh, I'd love to see an official gnoll player race. I mean, I'm not the only one who can't think that. It would be awesome to play a gnoll, right? In these cases, the set of lair actions describes additional rules for how to run these lair actions. Okay. Shared lairs? What? In your adventures as the Dungeon Master, you might create situations where 2 or more creatures, who each have lair actions of their own are found in the same lair. For example, a Pegasus and its War Priest Rider, both living on the same isolated mountain, or an evil archmage with a mage apprentice and a flesh golem protector. When this happens, you typically have 2 options. Only the strongest creature gets to use lair actions, and it's usually the leader and the creature who the lair actually belongs to. Or more than one creature gets to use lair actions. The stronger one uses them on initiative count 20, and the second strongest uses them on initiative count 10. If more than 2 creatures use the same lair action, any creature beyond the second strongest uses its lair action on its turn. In this case, note the challenge rating of each creature who gets to use their lair action is increased by 1. I like that. That provides so many ideas. I mean, right off the bat, what about a necromancer who has like a Goliath zombie, right? That is awesome. I love this. It's getting my creative juices flowing. Woo! Let's continue on in this book. Multiple sets of lair actions. Oh. Some creatures already had lair actions in their published form. Example, hags who are given lair actions in those kind of monsters. But we decided to write new ones ourselves. Excuse my coughing a little bit. Others fit more than one archetype. Example, the Drow House Captain, which fits in the same boxes as both the Warlord and the Drow Shadowblade. In both of these creatures, guys, I'm gonna mess up reading all the time. I'm so excited. It just please bear with me. In both of these cases, the creatures end up with one set of lair actions. As the DM, you could either choose one of the sets of lair actions and use the one exclusively, or view it as additional options the creature can choose from when it takes a lair action. The first solution is usually simpler to run, while the second gives you more ways to show the creature's identity and uniqueness to your players. I like that pick and choose kind of strategy. Much cooler in my opinion. Love it. Lairs as areas of effect. A good number of lair actions provided in this book target one or more creatures within the lair. The size of this area is up to the creature. The lair in your own judgment as the Dungeon Master. Remember, the Dungeon Master always has final say. Important little tidbit there. For example, you might define a giant crocodile's lair as the 300-foot radius circle around the place where it sleeps, while others, such as I think that's pronounced Djinni, I don't know, might have a lair that is an entire palace with dozens of rooms and multiple decibels. Yeah. Player character lairs. Leave a comment down below if y'all are interested in that. I'm definitely interested in it, but I don't want to put it in part of this video. I would like to make a separate video about that. Maybe where we come up with a player character lair with one of my players on a co-stream. That'd be pretty cool. Creating lair actions. If you wish to use a creature from a source not covered by this book, you might want to create lair actions for it yourself. So, you know, things from like Tome of Foes, Tome of Beast, all these other third-party kind of books. If you do, here are some of the lessons learned over the course of writing this book. Lair actions should be tactically varied. Try to give each lair action a different strategic purpose, as if a creature's lair actions all do the same thing with a different coat of paint, the battle risks getting stale fairly quickly. Remember, we're not trying to make it boring, we're trying to make it exciting and dynamic. That's the purpose of this series that I'm doing. Oh, whoops, right click there. Here are examples of things lair actions are good at. Dealing damage, protecting minions and or the boss, making allies and or the boss stronger, making enemies weaker, creating obstacles, moving creatures around. Ooh, that could be fun. Calling for reinforcements, creating obstructions to visions, etc. Okay? They should be interactive. Try to come up with lair actions that the players can do something about. D&D is at its best when players are presented with problems that they must solve creatively, and lair actions are a perfect excuse to introduce such problems. Avoid effects which take agency from the players, such as the stun condition, unless you give the players a way to end the effect themselves in one way or another. So obviously tie saving throws, maybe if they're resistant to a certain Titan damage, it doesn't affect them, so on and so forth, you know. Synergistic. Try to come up with effects which synergize well with a creature's mechanic. For example, if a creature has blind sight, creating areas of magical darkness is likely to be good lair action. Debatable there. Players tend to not be able to see through magical darkness. I mean, there's those certain players who optimize for, you know, the darkness plus devil sight combo, but not everybody likes that. Some people consider that it ruins the game. Me personally, if you want to be one of those guys at my table who's going to be a player who's going to take that combo, Cool. You're not the only one who can do that. Monsters can have Devil's Sight too. I, as the GM, can edit monsters, edit encounters however I want, as long as it makes the game more fun. If you're going to be the only one wailing on things because of the darkness, I'm probably going to make some monsters be able to see in the darkness. But the important thing is include a viable reason within the lore of the world that you're making or running on why they would have that feature. For example, don't just go give a dog Devil's Sight. That makes no sense. Now, give a Shadow Mastiff Devil's Sight, and that makes more sense. They're made of shadow. They're made of this dark kind of material. Why wouldn't they? Anyway, that's just a little rant. Sorry about that. Maybe I'll make a video about going more in depth into things like that. Not every stat block lends itself well to this, but if you see an opportunity to make a creature's unique traits and abilities shine, make sure to seize it. So, like I said previously, as far as the Necromancer example, right? Maybe the giant Goliath, I'm taking a little bit of inspiration from Magic the Gathering here, with, what is that? Death Titan, I think? Grave Titan, there we go. Where whenever it attacks or whatever, it spits out a couple 2/2 zombies. Maybe this zombie Goliath that we're talking about is filled with like miniature zombies inside of its guts or whatever. And as a lair action, it can spit out anywhere from 1 to, let's say, 6 zombies, right? Roll a d6, that's how many zombies come out. That's a pretty interesting way to keep the combat exciting and fresh. And maybe just take it a step further, if you roll a 6 on that 1d6, one of them is a special zombie of a certain challenge rating variation. I'd have to go more in depth, do a little bit more research to determine this. But again, if you're interested in a video on that, I would not mind doing a video where we create some Necromancer encounters, I guess. I would actually be excited by that. Let me know down in the comments below. And simple to run. That's important as well. You don't want to bog your combat down and bog your game down by making it all hard. Trust me, I know, I've done it before. It's inevitable that adding lair actions where there were none before adds some complexity to the game. But making sure the effects are easy to run at the table ensures that a combat won't get bogged down. That's important. Keep the effects to 1 or 2 paragraphs. Reduce the number of, scroll up, dice that you'll need to be thrown. Use the same save DC and damage dice from that creature's stat block, etc. Like I said, if you're going to have one lair action be a d6, make a d6, d6, d6. Basically, just keep it consistent and easy to run. You don't want it to be too complicated. Narratively coherent. Oh, that's interesting. Some effects, such as summoning minions, give the boss a chance to hide, or healing the boss are likely to make combat noticeably longer. They would be great for encounters that are designed to feel like a marathon, but would feel out of place in a high-octane in combats designed to only last 2 to 3 very intense rounds. When designing your creature's lair actions, make sure to ask yourself whether or not the mechanics produce the narrative effect that is desired. I read that differently than the way they worded it, but hey, same outcome. So, like I said earlier, we're going to look at the Banshee first. Oh, gotta scroll in a little bit. That's the Bandit Captain. All right, here we go. Banshee. The avarice, rage, and despair that drives a Banshee suffuse into the environment of its life and forms a resonating energy that empowers a Banshee further. Yes, I am very excited. I have ADHD, and D&D is one of my favorite hobbies in the whole world. Correction, TTRPGs. I've played a little bit of Pathfinder, and I'm interested in running other games at some point, but my group currently is really only in the 5th edition. If any of them want me to at some point run other games, then hey, great. But right now I'm currently taking a break from running because I got burnt out on a little bit, but I had one of my players step up, and he's running a game that I'm playing in, and I'm in love with that game so far, so I'm going to give him a little while to run his game, and when that campaign ends, then I'll step back in, gladly. And hey, while I'm waiting for that burnout to wear out, I won't be burnt out by reading. I love reading. especially TTRPG stuff, man. That's my bread and butter. That in video games, of course. All right. Rejection of the self. Ooh, interesting. If the Banshee sees a reflection of itself, it is driven into an incoherent rage as it tries to disrupt or destroy the source of the reflection and those responsible for creating it. While the Banshee can see its reflection, it makes attack rolls with advantage, but it cannot take lair actions, and attack rolls against have an advantage. So it essentially gives it that reckless rage trait from barbarians while it sees its reflection. That's actually pretty cool, and I like it. Wrath and resentment. The negative emotions that drive the Banshees. Skip the line there for a minute. The negative emotions that drive the Banshee burst forth when it wails. I would make a Banshee wail, but I don't want to blow your eardrums, so just pretend I did, please. Each of the Banshee's lair actions causes a negative emotion to build up again. After the Banshee has used each of its lair actions at least once, it regains the use of its wail ability. That is dangerous. That is real dangerous. Because, if I'm not mistaken, let's look it up on D&D Beyond real quick. Fuck. I did it again. You know what? Let's just continue. I'll edit that out in the editing software. Okay. Is there more over here, or is that... Okay, lair actions, yep. On initiative count 20, we already read that early on, losing initiative, blah, blah, blah. The Banshee is driven into a frenzied rage by the sight of creatures continuing to violate its lair with their ugly presence. On its next turn, the Banshee can make an additional attack with its corrupting touch. Additionally, if the Banshee uses its wail on its last turn, until initiative count 20 on the next round, the Banshee has advantage on attack rolls against any creature which succeeded on its saving throw against the wail. Oh. One creature of the Banshee's choice that it can see must succeed a DC 13 Wisdom save or be charmed by the Banshee and share in its avarice. A creature charmed in this way must use its turns to try and safely approach the nearest beautiful or valuable object. Example, an elaborate painting or a golden crown. Once a creature has moved to within 5 feet of the object, it spends its turn ogling it greedily. The creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns and whenever it takes damage, ending the effect on success. Success. This effect ends early if the Banshee dies or uses this lair action again. So it kind of turns your player into a Golem. Gollum as in Lord of the Rings Gollum, not Gollum as in the monster. If they fail the saving throw. I like that. That is kind of neat. It adds to the story a little bit. Interesting. Okay. Next, overwhelming hopelessness floods the mind of one creature the Banshee can see within its lair, sapping its will to live. On a failed save, the creature has a vulnerability to necrotic damage. Okay. And disadvantage on attack rolls. Its speed is reduced to 0 and it won't willingly move. Ouch. Just ouch. A creature can repeat the saving throws at the end of each of its turn and whenever it regains hit points, ending the effect on a success. Okay, that balances it out heavily. I give them props on that way to get rid of this negative. Very, very awesome. I love it. And look at this incredible art. Again, I love art in 5th edition and like third party and all this kind of TTRPGs. Not only the newer kind of art, but also some of the older art, the black and white stuff. That's pretty impressive to me. Oh, wow, that's just gorgeous. Is there more down here? Or is this a different creature? Oh, regional effects. Oh, yeah, that's right. A lot of layers provide regional effects. The Banshee's self-loathing permeates its lair, causing non-magical reflective surfaces such as waters or mirrors within the Banshee's lair to appear cloudy. Such surfaces do not reflect images clearly unless they have been splashed with a flash of holy water. Flask of holy water. Within the last minute, if the Banshee uses its corrupting touch against a reflective surface in this way, the surface returns to being cloudy. When the Banshee dies, these effects disappear after 1d10 days. Nice, nice. Okay, so it's got a little bit of effect. All right, let's look at what other monsters we got here. I'm looking at some of them. The Ettins. I'm not really interested in that. I want something that I've run recently, or in the past year at least. We just did a Banshee, which is kind of a Spectre kind of creature, so no to that. You know what? I said I like gnolls, so let's go to the Gnoll Pack Lord is the second monster we're going to look at here. That's the Gnoll Alpha. We want the Gnoll Pack Lord. Wait, what? Oh, okay, they all kind of share this. Okay, well that's... Okay, cool. Gnoll Alpha. So you got the Gnoll Pack Lord, which is CR2, and it appears on the Monster Manual on page 163. This is the Gnoll Alpha, Gnoll Fanga, Gnoll Pack Lord. Okay, so I only want to read the one for the Gnoll Pack Lord, kind of. Oh, wow, it only gets one. Okay, well, that's kind of annoying. I mean... Oh, okay, so this is one that each can use. When a war band of gnolls congregates, the most powerful of them is called the Alpha. You know, like an alpha wolf. And is the one which can perform lair actions. If the Alpha is killed, the next strongest gnoll inherits this role immediately. Unless there are no gnolls of a CR2 or higher within its lair. If a Shuzuva is present, its master can also use its unique lair action. Okay. You know, same thing with initiative round 20, and it can't use the effects twice in a row. Okay. The wail of a tormented creature within the lair's sacrificial chamber echo throughout the lair. All non-lows that can... No, those. All non-gnolls that can hear these unsettling screams must make a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw. On a failure, a target has disadvantage on its next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. Okay, that's a neat little lair action. The gnolls chant a war cry bolstered by their crude idols to Yanagu. A gnoll witherling crawls out of the ground serving the pack. Up to 2 witherlings can be summoned in this way. Additionally, the Gnoll Alpha takes another lair action if any gnoll other than a witherling is killed. Its flesh slows, I don't know how to pronounce that word, off it and immediately rises as a witherling. Interesting. And the Gnoll Pack Lord only. So only a Pack Lord can do this, not the Yanogu or the Gnoll Fang or anything like that. The Pack Lord compels its underlings to defend their turf. All those that can hear it have an advantage on their next attack roll. Woo! That is nice. Very, very, very potent. Essentially a one-turn use of pack tactics, except without the need to be within an enemy within 5 feet. It's just advantage for that turn, or their next attack roll. I mean, wow, that is nice. And again, look at the art, man. I mean, my word, I love it. All right. And you know, I think one that would be really, really cool to look at would be... Oh, I think I passed it. Is the Zombie Horde... Okay, yeah, let's look at the Zombie Horde. Why not? It's not as exciting as the Nogu, but you know what? Let's look at the Zombie Horde. I know zombies are really cool, and like a lot of people like zombies. And hey, if you're using a necromancer, a zombie could be good. Oh, and it does say that the Horde may include more dangerous creatures such as ogre zombies or beholder zombies. Individual zombies lack the kind of magical power or influence to create a lair. However, their base instincts will drive hordes of dozens. I gotta say, I disagree with this little influence right here. I think if a necromancer created a zombie in a specific way, it may have its own lair actions. Again, inspiration from the Grave Titan from Magic the Gathering, where it spits out a couple zombies each turn. I think I am, you know what, I think I am going to do that. I'm really interested in the video idea for creating this little lair with a couple bosses in it, and I think that'd be a cool little video. video. Maybe a series of designing like a dungeon. That would be kind of cool. Who knows? Maybe. If I get inspired enough to do it, then look forward to that video. All right. Okay, here we go. Same thing, initiative count 20, blah, 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 blah. If the total CR of zombies in the horde is 2 or higher, one creature injured by a zombie since the last initiative count 20 must succeed on a DC 13 Constitution saving throw or contract a disease. Oh, in my game, that is deadly. Because a lot of healing magic in my game is only able to be done by NPCs. You got your healing word and cure wounds as a player character. And you got Revivify, but things like Remove Curse and stuff like that are not allowed at my tables because I feel it removes the threat of things like curses and whatnot. That's just me. If you don't agree with that, hey, run your table how you want it to run your table. But in my tables, I like it to be a little bit more deadly and give the players a challenge. So, yeah. Until the disease is cured, the target can't regain hit points except by magical means. So, spells and whatnot, that's fine. And the target's hit point maximum decreases by 3, or 1d6 if you want to roll, every 24 hours. If the target's hit point maximum drops to 0 as a result of this disease, the target dies and rises a zombie in 1d4 hours. Okay. Okay. Nice. If the total CR... Oh, it goes by the horde CR. Oh, I like that. If the total of the CR of the zombie in the horde is 4 or higher, the zombies surge forward. Each zombie in the horde may use its reaction to move up to its speed towards a living creature it can see. If it ends this movement within 5 feet of an enemy, it may immediately attempt a shove or grapple action. The horde cannot use this lair action again until it uses another lair action. Okay, so the higher the horde CR, the more you have at your disposal. Okay. If the total CR of the zombies in the horde is 6 or higher, one humanoid corpse within the zombie lair rises as a zombie. The horde cannot use this lair action again until it uses another lair action, okay? If the total of the CR of the zombies is 8, oh wait, that's 7, 8 or higher, the entire herd turns toward a single living creature that caused significant disturbance on its last turn, such as turning undead, casting fireball, or ringing a church bell. I like that. It gives you examples that can be done. AKA, they drew aggro, right? The creature must succeed on a DC 13 wisdom saving throw, or become frightened of the zombies, rooted to the spot in fear as the horde begins to lumber towards them. Heedless of other targets, a creature frightened in this way has its speed to reduce to 0 and can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a success. So it automatically loses 1 turn if they fail. That is nice. And if the total of the zombie... God dang it. If the total of the zombies CR in the horde is 10 or higher, one creature injured by a zombie since the last initiative count 20 must succeed on a DC 13 wisdom saving throw or be affected as per the spell Bestow Curse. This effect lasts 1 minute until the horde uses this ability again, or until the total CR of the zombies falls below 10. Oh, okay. So it's a degrading kind of thing. I like that. And then the regional effects. The region containing a zombie horde is changed by the presence of the undead, which creates one or both of the following effects. The magical energies that animate the dead extend throughout the region. If the zombie horde has a total of CR 3 or higher, any humanoid that dies within 1 mile of the horde must succeed on a DC 9 charisma saving throw or rise as a zombie. Arise, my minion, after 1d4 hours. Okay? Restful sleep is difficult in the region. Any creature attempting to take a short or long rest within 1 mile of the zombie horde with a total CR of 5 or higher must make a DC 9 charisma saving throw Creatures that fail this saving throw gain no benefits from a short rest. If they're attempting to take a long rest, they instead gain the benefits of a short rest and gain a level of exhaustion due to their restless sleep. That is vicious, and I love it. These effects end immediately if the zombie horde is destroyed or chased away from the region. All right, I like that. And as I promised, I would tell you how much this cost. As you see, I've purchased it already. You can get the PDF for $19.95 over on the DM's Guild or Dungeon Masters Guild. You could get a hardcover standard version for $49.95. That's not a bad price. Or you can get both the PDF and the hardcover, which I believe is it's $49.95 for me because I already have the PDF. But you could get it for normally $69.90, which I'm not in the mood to do math, but I think is the price of both two things combined, so it's a fair deal. Here's the description. As you see, it's been also reviewed by Slide Flourish, Bob World Builder, and Claire Corner. Just some of the guys who inspired me to start my own YouTube channel about my favorite hobby. Shout out to those guys. Here's some arts and some pictures and whatnot. Again, man, the art, I love it so much. And you can get it in bundles as well. You can get it in the Hunters and Hunted Monsters bundle or the Better Bosses Battle bundle. This is how I got it. I got it through this bundle right here. One of the books I'll be reviewing on the channel is the Monster Weaknesses. Again, you're going to be buffing up the monsters. You got to balance this out without giving the giving the players some chances to learn some stuff and maybe make the combat a little bit more balanced. And the other way you can get it, which I have the first book of the Monster Manual, is the Better Boss Battles bundle, which contains the Bloodied and Bruised Monster Manual, Bloodied and Bruised Volume 2 Volo's Guide, and Bloody and Bruised Volume 3 Mordecai's Summer Foes, as well as this book. That bundle cost $36.80. Personally, the way I got it here was the Hunters and Hunted Monsters bundle, which was $31.90. Which, as you see, is $0 because I already purchased it. Oh, that's great. But all in all, I love this book. I love what it does. Lair actions are one of my favorite things in 5th edition's rule set. Yeah. Tell me what you guys think. God dang it. What y'all think of the book down below. If you're interested in me, like I said, doing the character options, a video on that, let me know. Maybe I'll build a character one. I know for a fact I decided I'm gonna build that Necromancer Lair. I think that's gonna be really fun, and I think that could be a cool challenge and whatnot. Yeah, thanks for stopping by the Wizard Forge, where we craft new ideas and adventures and all this other kind of stuff, and we look at books to expand our repertoire as both dungeon masters and players. I will be reviewing player options as well from third-party content, so stay tuned for that. Without further ado, thank you for joining me here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the future.